Happy Thursday. Happy 2025. Gager, haven't talked to you since last year.
Unbelievable.
Oh, you suck.
Welcome to EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage, Zach Kubusch. It's a brand new year. We're rolling. We're excited. We're refreshed after one day off.
Yeah, I didn't like the one. I hated the one days.
The New Year's in the midweek is never a good one. You need it to be like on a Thursday, then you get
New
Friday,
Year's,
and then go
yeah,
into the weekend.
Yeah, you need New Year's on a.
So
you need to move that day.
For sure. Welcome to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. Of course, if you'd like to watch us, hit us up on the EST YouTube channel. Hit up the Nasty Chat as well. You want to listen to iHeart or to the TuneIn radio apps, EdmontonSportsTalk.com as well. And if you want to text us, you have to text the River Cree inbox, Gager. They're on board now to start the new year. So our inbox now is the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. Fun show today. Of course, Oilers hit the ice. No changes to their lines. Today, they'll be back in action tomorrow when they host the Anaheim Ducks. We gave them a nice kick in the pants last weekend, so they're going to be looking for some revenge. They're coming off an impressive 4-1 win on New Year's Eve over the Utah Hockey Club. Of course, big World Juniors game today as Canada takes on Czechia in the quarterfinals. They're coming off a tough loss. A lot of turmoil regarding Canada. And to talk all things World Junior and all things Guy Flaming from the Pipeline Show will join us at 2:20, Red Light District at 1:40. And we'll also be giving away another 2 hours to Gimme Virtual Golf. I got some trivia. So get ready, get your phones out, and make sure you know your golfers from a certain part of the world. And we're going to have some fun with that, Gager.
Can't wait.
After, a very interesting 2024. We started the show in September. How was your New Year's Eve? How did you welcome in the 2025?
By listening to you on the postgame show. It was great. It was great. I like the fact that you guys were trying to wrap it up so quickly, but no, it was actually a good show. I mean, the game was interesting, I raced home, got home, and hung out with my wife, and it was just relaxed. You know, it wasn't. I was talking to lots of people, and even I was doing the game with obviously Gene and stuff, and it was funny because we're both. I just want to get home.
Yeah,
you know? And partly because, and I showed up at Tommy's place early. I didn't know what it was going to be like downtown, where I usually have a normal parking spot. It was the last stall there. Yeah. Everyone was getting ramped up. I didn't know if I was going to be able to, get out of there, so I left a little bit earlier. But it didn't seem too busy downtown. Was it busy down? Did you notice a line?
Well, we did 45 minutes on the post-game show, and I'll be honest, I found that game a bit of a dud. Like,
did you?
Once the Oilers hit 3-1, I thought they were in cruise control.
So you weren't in the Tommy and Reed camp where they thought they needed that fourth one?
No, I was like, they're not coming back. Like, it was
they
just
dog. Like, the only way that they were going to come back is if the Oilers really made a bad mistake, like a giveaway and
exactly,
or in a bad goal or a lucky bounce or something like that. That's what I was thinking. Okay, that's the only thing that's going to derail this victory right here. But like I said, I thought it was way more beneficial for this team to win a game having to close it out.
Yeah.
So just not giving them a sniff. The Utah Hockey Club had to earn everything they got from that, 5 minutes left to go in the second, all the way through the third. There wasn't a lot. And Stuart Skinner made some good saves. There was one save in particular that was really impressive, and I believe it was Sergachev. He walked to the middle. It was a blocker save, and that thing, from my vantage point, I was right in the way there, and it was through traffic. It was very impressive save Stuart Skinner made that could have changed the game right there. So.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. Like, we got out of here. I went to Beaumont. GF's family was there. So I went to see them for a bit. And then my sister had my parents over. And then we went to my sister's in Beaumont. So we got home after 3, but like no drinks or anything because we were both driving. And it's a long drive from Beaumont to downtown. Drive. But it was nice to see the family. We had some good food. Usually, it was funny because my family did Chinese food, and so did her family. So we got a lot of leftovers for yesterday, and it's great.
Oh, yeah.
It was fantastic. Coop, turn your mic on. How was your New Year's Eve? Was it as crazy as YouTube Trev's pub crawl?
Well, if you think getting, I don't know, basically frozen pizza from an establishment is pretty crazy for $20, I had a pretty crazy night. Went with a couple buddies downtown near Jasper Ave and had a pretty decent time. Enjoyed myself, but as bad as some of the things was, specifically the pizza kind of threw me off a little bit. I was excited to try their pizza there. Looking at Trev's, I think I had a pretty good night. Comparing it to Tube there.
Oh, yeah? Did the Tube get up to it? Did he get into it?
Well, I heard him a bit on the morning show talking about he's got beef, and he said he didn't really enjoy the pub crawl. Someone spilled drinks on him, and he got separated from his friend, and he went on a bus, which was the rowdy bus, I guess, and the other one was a little more tame. And
yeah, I think he got off the leash there. I thought they connected those kids,
Yeah.
when they get on there, so you don't lose them, like walking them in the daycare.
Yeah. It was, I think he had mixed feelings about what he did. I don't think he would do it again from what I took, what he said on the morning show.
So he went on a pub crawl?
Something like that.
Yeah, on White Ave and kind of took him around everywhere. Yeah, he was only, apparently he was only in each establishment for like 30 or so minutes and kind of went around it. It's too quick to have fun at each place. You know what I mean? You kind of got to sit down, venture around there.
But if a place is hopping, why would you want to leave, right?
But that's what I mean. Like, I remember back in my day, like when I was young, we did a couple pub crawls, and that's the same thing. Like, you hit around midnight, club's bumping. You're like, why am I going to leave and then try to make last call at another place, try to get in?
I hated guys that would, like, we'd be at a place and it'd be great.
Yeah.
And they'd be, let's get out of here. I'm like, why? Why are we leaving?
Yeah.
Where are we going? And then always the next place you go to has like 2 people in it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
And it's too late to go back.
Yeah.
And you already paid the cover charge, like the $10,
like,
and you're like, wow, what a waste of money.
I'm going to recommend Trev next year because he's young. He should have a house party. You're at home.
What do you think? Do you think you should be out in an establishment on New Year's, or is it better to have like a house party? Like,
I think it's better house party. It's cheaper. You buy your own booze. You're with people you actually enjoy and like and want there.
Yeah.
You can have appies at any time.
Yeah.
Like if I had people over, I would always have appies.
Yeah.
Hey, is anyone hungry? Boom, boom, boom. You don't have to worry about driving, Ubering, taxing. Do you know what I mean? So. For me, I'll be honest, like, unless I'm like in Mexico for New Year's, like I would never do like, I mean, I shouldn't say I would never, but in my younger years, I never went to the clubs on New Year's. We'd always do like house things.
Yeah.
House parties, get-togethers.
Well, though, I always hated going out on New Year's. You'd go to a place. I can't hear anyone anyway. Like, it's so loud in there. It's crazy. Yeah. I think Trev complained about that too. He couldn't talk to anyone because it was so loud.
He's an old soul. And I kind of have that problem too when I go out. My buddy who came with me, he's like, "Wow, it's so loud. What are you saying?" And like Hernan, you listed all those great things about doing it at your house. What are the pros of kind of going out? I mean, you're in the environment with a bunch of people, which could be cool, but
I get it. People like that.
Yeah, I used to like it. It's cool. Everyone gets the countdown and stuff, and you're probably, if you're single, you're grabbing something to try to kiss. And but I think it's a lot more fun being with a lot of people that you know already and having a good time. So
Surveyor Brett says, invite all the nasties to Tube's house next New Year's Eve. I like it. And then Spency 5 cents, he says, the air fryer has changed the making appetizers for parties game. Yeah, like an air fryer is a game changer. You put your wings in there. Like, you can put anything. I remember I got some calamari.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's great. It's quick.
Oh, yeah, that's when you go get there's a lot of golden food group things in there. The spring rolls. You said calamari. Probably a few greasy wheels in there too.
Yeah,
that's like a big, like old school. Lots of dough and cheese where it kind of soaks everything up. It's perfect.
I love it. Let's see here. Justin Abelgoni trying to get a cab back in the day before Uber was a terrible experience. It was.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You know what though? We were so it was just before midnight. We were checking Ubers from Beaumont to our place.
Oh, how expensive!
It was only $37.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
See, I hate that because there was one time, it was just a few weeks ago, and my daughter goes to school at Scona, right? So
Yeah.
it's right in the central, and she was like, she had an exam, and she just wanted to go home and study, and I was busy, wife was busy, didn't have a ride, so she looked on Uber,
Yeah.
and right then there's a bunch of Ubers right after school, right? Because some kids take them to go places or things like that, and it was $70.
Wow.
For a cheap Uber to go take her from, basically just off White Ave to Terwilliger. I'm just like, what?
No, they jack up the prices on the weekend later at night, and then when there's events like
Yeah.
other games.
Oh,
But
it's brutal.
I was shocked how cheap the Uber was.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it might. We didn't check after midnight. It might have went up,
Yeah. I
but
bet you it
I'd pay
was.
$37 to go from Beaumont to downtown.
That's not bad.
You
That's about as
basically
much
won
as
the
gas.
lottery with that. Like, honestly, sometimes I got copped into almost buying like $140 Uber from like White Ave to like St. Albert. I just looked. I'm like, guys, I guess we're hunkering down for a little bit, saving some money. Maybe bought a pizza or something like that. But
Wait it out.
that's how they make money, and it doesn't even go really to the driver, from what I heard. I'm like, man, you got your prices jacked up. You getting a lot of this? And I've talked to a couple Uber drivers, and they're like, I wish, man. But
Yeah, hit us up for sure. Like we said on the River Cree inbox, the afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino. Canadian musician Alan Doyle and comedian Ben Bankas coming to the River Cree in January. For details on tickets, visit www.rivercreeresort.com. I also said we're going to have the Gamey Virtual Golf in the second hour. If we get close to 100, as soon as we hit 100, we'll do the giveaway. It's 2 hours of virtual golf. It's a really cool setup. It's about 2 blocks from here. It's really close. So especially in the winter, you want to work on your game or try for the first time. They got drinks. They got everything there. So we're going to be giving away 2 hours in some golf trivia, Gager.
And Hernan's going to golf this year too, so it's going to be awesome.
No, I don't think I will.
Yeah, you will.
Gager, I don't know how to swing the club.
Well, let's learn. This is going to.
Well, we got to go see Michael at Gamey Virtual Golf.
Okay.
So maybe we'll start there. Maybe we'll set something up this month, and we'll play him. We'll pay him a visit after the show.
Yeah.
And we can maybe mess around for an hour, and then they can show me how to hit a ball and all that. And
You just look at it.
if it was only that easy, man.
It is.
It's
You
not.
just look at it. You don't. I mean, you're not John Daly. You don't have to hit it 300 yards. It'll be fun, man. It'll be fun.
This one from Chronic Master. Jeez, I'm not going to say that, but pre-booked my Uber to go from downtown to Deep South at $12:30, $38 checked at $12:15. It was $147.
Wow.
Holy smokes! Yeah, mine probably went up then.
Oh, for
Definitely,
sure.
at least triple of what it was before midnight. KDC's the key with Uber is you need to walk out of the hubs. They price them way, way, way more on the main streets.
Little.
Kitty's also sharing that he was at the game on New Year's Eve and some guy fell on him and his family from 5 rows up.
Yeah, I was reading that.
Yeah, man. Sorry to hear that. And he said that the young man was okay and he was very apologetic, but that's a tough, especially when you're with your family.
It's
and kids.
steep up there.
Yeah,
it's really steep.
like if you're a little bit wobbly, yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you're not gonna and just going over. Like I think I went to go see a comedian and we were way up there, and it's the first time I've been up there in Rogers. And I was like, this is dangerous, man. Like,
Yeah, it is. It's like I said, and it was New Year's Eve. Everybody was probably double fisting the drinks.
Of course.
And the Oilers were winning. So, Kitty, sorry to hear that. Hopefully, they do get back to you and reimburse you in some way because that's a little unfortunate. It kind of puts a damper on the whole night for sure. Keep hitting that thumbs up. We're at 25. Not a bad start, Gager. Not a bad start. I think we have a lot of golfers that listen to our show. So, I know everybody's interested in those 2 hours of free virtual golf. So New Year's Eve was good. I saw you yesterday at Belsey with his little baby. A little
Yeah.
bit of baby fever, Gage.
no,
No.
no. No, there was nothing. I was dead inside.
Just cuteness.
It was completely fun. And it's funny because I used to love holding little babies and stuff like that. That was fun. But now I'll do it, but it's not the same. But you got the old bull ride out, and little kids usually like when I do that. So it always worked with my little kids. So I whatever, right? But cute, very Belzy's got two very cute kids.
Yeah. Wheels, who's a thief.
Yeah.
I'm my own Uber. It's very cheap. I wheel from place to place. And then he asked, what did you guys think of the Latvian goalie's performance in the World Juniors? Will we see him in the NHL?
You never know, man.
You never know.
Like,
these tournaments can be a one-off, and
yeah. I mean, there might be a chance, but it's so hard to evaluate talent, especially at the goaltending level. Usually, one of these countries, like I remember when who was Mrazek? When Mrazek was here, he actually got the Edmontonians were like cheering for this guy because he was outstanding.
Yeah.
And he was kind of giving it to the crowd. Like, he had an unbelievable World Juniors performance, and I thought it kind of springboarded his NHL career for sure. Guys gave him a chance. They saw some personality and a guy that dealt with pressure in a different way. But like I said before, it's amazing. You look at the skill and how these kids are at such a young age. Like, they're very good, and there's probably just a handful of them that will play more than 100 games in the NHL. You know, like that's considered a pretty good career for some. Like the Latvian kid, the number 9. His name keeps escaping me here, but he's been a force, and he's probably gonna, he'll get a good look on a team that he goes to, but or if he's not already drafted, I haven't even checked. But the biggest thing I see that's going to hold him back is his skating. It's just he gets by okay in this tournament, but you go up another level, the speed just increases. And he's got a sweet little touch around the net, and scoring goals is always you're going to get extra looks if you can put the puck in the back of the net.
And good on them. Good showing. They beat Canada. They only lose 3-2 to Sweden, who's a really good team in this tournament.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling, Canadian fans? Are you a little nervous for this evening's game against Czechia? What are you feeling? Because you know what's interesting, and we're going to talk to you about this. Canada hasn't given up an even strength goal in the whole tournament. It's all been on the power play and 2 empty netters.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
God, I really want them to get back up against the Americans, though. I hope they can find a way to do it and get into that game, just because of the way that the Americans were showboating after they scored, giving it to the fans. It's hilarious, and I find it amusing, but the emotional level of that game with those young kids, it's just so high and low the whole time. You must love it because it's full of anxiety.
We're going to get to that. I'm going to ask you after the break. We're also going to get to certain players that are getting hot for the Oilers, and then big news from Philadelphia. They're not going to dress Saquon Barkley for the final game. So I want to get your thoughts on that coming up in the next segment. So NFL, NHL, and some World Juniors coming up. Our first portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. Host your team or league fundraiser at the Canadian Brewhouse for a chance to win $2,500 with tons of options to choose from. The Canadian Brewhouse can help you raise funds for your crew. Details in store or online at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. We're back after the break. This is EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, and here's Zach with your sports update.
World Junior quarterfinal action sees Canada taking on Czechia, and earlier Sweden held off Latvia 3-2, while Germany etched out Kazakhstan 4-3. And right now, the Americans lead the Swiss 4-1 at the end of 20. And a dozen games dot the NHL slate, including The Canucks and Kraken, Hurricanes facing the Panthers, and Utah visiting Calgary. Elsewhere, top prospect Matthew Schaefer's out 3 months after breaking his collarbone in Canada's 3-2 loss to Latvia in the World Juniors. And on the court, the Pacers play the Heat, and the Nets tip off with the Bucks, seeing 6 games in the association. This sports update is brought to you by the Capital Care Foundation. Financial support deeply affects residents at Capital Care. Whether it's a one-time donation or monthly contribution, every penny counts. Donate today to the Capital Care Foundation. Find them online at capitalcarefoundation.net. EST Afternoons returns on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're in the loop.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com. or head to our website, edmontonsportstalk.com. Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
It's 1:23. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. The whole crew's back on Monday. I mean, the big guy, Dustin Nielsen, makes his return. And we'll get down to this pickled herring fiasco.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't know if he's going to have to eat it or not because no one really knows if we hit 11 before midnight on the 25th. So it's going to be an interesting...
Are you going to eat some?
No. I might try it. Yeah, why not?
I'll try it.
You never had it either?
I think I did in Sweden. They love their fish over there, right? It's all...
I love fish.
Yeah.
Having fish today for supper.
Are you?
So I got a activation in this morning.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I did the old Gager. Yeah. Felt really good.
Yeah. I did yesterday.
It's tough to get. Once I'm up, I'm good. But it's just like rolling out of bed and saying, I want to go work out.
It's hard, man, because I got to, if I want to do it, I don't like working out in the evening. And I just do it at home or whatever, right? So,
yeah.
But to really, the proper timing for me to hit my day right, I have to get up at like 5:45
Oof.
and get downstairs and start moving around.
I hit my workout at 7:30.
That's good. But see, if I don't,
Yeah.
because it's about 45 to an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to shower, get ready, get my daughter's lunch together, usually get her to school, or do, hot takes or Tuesdays when I'm on.
Yeah.
And and then, start working, then get down here for the shows. So it's very regimented, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only time that it's kind of free, and fit in a dog walk in there too. So my mornings are busy.
Yeah, I don't like working out after work because I'm cooking and I just want to relax. So especially when there's Oilers games, I'm here. They're long days, so I'm going to try to start going in the mornings. Just get into the habit, right?
Then it's done, and you feel 10 times better.
Yeah. You know, it'd be funny if for your hit on Tuesday with Dusty, you're like, I'll keep joining you, but you have to pay me.
I got a what?
They have to pay you.
Yeah, they should. They should.
Just say $20 and I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I want to get to a couple things here regarding the World Juniors. So on New Year's Eve, I'd flip back between the Oilers and the Canada-U.S. game, and hey, good on the U.S. They were the better team. They finished, and I understand their kids and their young men and all that. I just thought the celebrations were way overboard. Where it's one of those where you're giving the other team a lot of fuel, and that might come back to bite you in the what because. And listen, I know other teams have done. I know Canada's done it at times, but I just thought it was too much for a round robin game. And I get it. You're in Canada. They're your rivals, and you're butt kicking them. But did you think it was too much?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But it usually is. The watching it and seeing the celebrations, like they kind of drive you crazy.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's way more fuel that's put into the fire if you get another crack at those guys, right? So I understand it, but you know what? Watching it too, I think it was you that said this. We were talking about Patrick Kane, and they were asking him the questions. Hey, do you want to play in this Four Nations and all this stuff, this international play? And why do you want to do this? And is Canada the rivals? All these types of questions. And Kane said, "You don't know what it's like growing up as an American hockey player, right? And you obviously going to Canada, playing these other games, and I was always touted as the next greatest thing in the U.S. and things like that. Granted, he should have, but." How many times Canadian people said, you suck, you're just American, you're not Canadian, you'll never be. So he had this chip on his shoulders. And Canada, being a predominantly hockey nation, I think a lot of U.S. kids get this a lot of the time. So this is them kind of venting and saying, hey, we're good too, and I get it. But this is where, I don't know, if I'm the coach of that team and I see what's happening, I'm telling them to
pipe
just...
down.
We've got this game well in hand. You got to know, looking at the schedule, there's another chance you might play against these guys. Let's save it for when it really matters and just take care of business. So maybe a little bit of a mistake by the U.S. coaching staff in that regard. That's probably not a great.
Just
Great
wasn't
luck.
a good look. And listen, if Canada did that and they won 4-1, I would be saying the same thing. I just think it was a little overboard. Like, be happy, celebrate, chirp the team, because that's what teams do. They chirp each other. But, like, the guy went around the bench to chirp the whole Canadian squad after a goal. It's just, I don't know. I found it too much, and I think that's the case in almost every sport. When you do stuff like that, it always comes back to haunt you, man.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of karma there. All right, let's switch gears to the Edmonton Oilers. Connor Brown got bumped to the first line. He put the lines in a blender. It worked.
Complete blender.
And then he started the first period, kept the lines together. Then in the second, he took Hyman off the first line onto the fourth line. Well, technically your fourth line. It really wasn't a fourth line. He puts Nuge up there with McDavid and Connor Brown, and it worked. 2 goals in 20 seconds. And Connor Brown now is really playing some good hockey. I think Reed was saying he's third on the team in 5-on-5 points. I mean, this is the Connor Brown we expected last year. I still don't think he's a guy that's in your top 6. I still don't think these lines stick, but good on him for taking advantage of the opportunity, Gage.
And it's kind of that Warren Fogle of last year, right? Like, there were times when you could throw Fogle up there and get a spark, and he could fill the shoes of a top 6 role for a certain amount of time before it kind of fell off a little bit, which happens. But you know what? When I was watching that game, the one thing that went through my mind. Let me see what you think about this. So the Hyman, putting him on a different line.
Yeah.
Right away, immediately what goes through my mind is I remember Hyman as a Toronto Maple Leaf. And he wasn't always on the top line. Like, he was more in the bottom 6 for periods. And he was just a junkyard dog down on those lines, like digging and hard on everything. And you're just like, oh my gosh. And then they would put him up with like Matthews and Marner just to get them a little bit more juice and stuff.
Yeah.
And I wonder, do you think Hyman's lost a little bit of that dog a little bit? And the fact that is this Nabla saying we need a little bit more out of you and like playing like a third, fourth liner, even though he's skilled enough to play in a top six?
That's an interesting question because I didn't think that line was terrible in the first period. I didn't think any line was bad, but he was playing his off wing. So was it a kick in the pants to Hyman, who's been pretty good as of late? Maybe he didn't like his first period, or was it more, hey, let's get Hyman back to the right and they'll put Nuge there and move Connor Brown or keep Connor Brown there? Do you think it was more of that?
I tend to think that it was to get Hyman back to Junkyard Dog Hyman.
Oh, okay.
I think they need more from him in that respect. And good look, I understand it, man. This guy scored over 50 goals last year. He's counted on to produce offensively. But one of the main reasons why he's successful is he plays that honest, hard, again, dog on a bone style that you would see from, well, who was Spicy Tuna there? You know, I'm not comparing him to Hyman, but you know, just that aggressive. God, I got to go up against this guy again. He's always in front of the net. Every time I touch the puck, he's hitting me. I don't know.
Funny thing about Spicy Tuna, because they kept mentioning it's only his 4th game of the year, so I was like, hey, did he get hurt? No, he's been healthy scratch the whole year.
And the only reason he was in was because
Keller
injury
was
to Keller.
sick.
Yeah,
that was funny on the broadcast. It was like late in the second, and Louis like, yeah, Keller's out. We still don't know why. Then Jack's like, you don't trust Gene's reporting because Gene said it in the first.
Oh, did he?
And Louis started laughing. He's like, oh, I missed it.
Oh man, I wish people, because I can hear Jack and Louis during the commercial breaks, and I wanted to say so bad because a song came on and Louis started singing, and I was like, oh my gosh, if people could only hear this right now, it'd be just gold, because he sounds like Elvis, but like Elvis, old Elvis in the casinos in Vegas. Like he sound like an old opera singer singing with that deep baritone voice. Louis got some pretty good pipes, I'll say.
These are the lines today at practice. RNH with McDavid and Brown, Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Arvidsson, who I thought were really good on that game on Tuesday. Your third line was Hyman, Janmark, and Kapanen. And your fourth line, Skinner, Enrique, Perry, Ryan was your extra. And the pairings remain the same. Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurth with Stetcher, Kulak with Emerson. And I picked Matthias Ekholm as the player of the game last time they were in action, Gage. Like, he's not perfect, but damn, is he close.
He's pretty close,
He
man.
does it all, man. He's so good. Like, I knew he was good in Nashville.
Oh, he was great in that.
I didn't need analytics or anyone to tell me he was like. I knew he was good, but then when you get to see him every game, man, this guy is so valuable. And I know people were upset about the trade because of Reed Schaefer and all that, but man, this guy is exactly what the Oilers need in the back end.
Yeah, and I knew Spicy Tuna. What's ginger beef?
Ginger beef. Yeah.
I mean, he's not playing anywhere. You know. No, he's so good, man. Like scoring the first goal, and I think we were talking about it on our show before the game, just to get some other contributions from guys. And I know Ekholm seems like he's scoring a lot lately, but and then you got Stetcher getting one and things like that. So it's although there was direct involvement from Leon and Connor and some of those things, but. It's nice to see other guys contributing that offensively, right? I think you need that.
Yeah, Rip City Step in the River Cree inbox says Brown unlocking Nuge. Nuge is, finally he scored a 5-on-5 goal. It only took him a month, but no, good on Nuge because if he gets going, then it's only going to be good things for this team. Let's switch gears to the NFL quickly here. So Saquon Barkley 101 yards away from tying the all-time rushing record from Dickerson. I guess he had a conversation with the coach. Coach prefers he doesn't play. He's a team guy and said, sure. Said he told his family and all that. He can't be happy, but it just shows you what kind of guy this dude is. He's a team first guy, but he's got to be a little upset that they're not going to let him go for the record.
I think there was a mic'd up part of the season where wasn't he looking to break his single game rushing streak, and they were winning. And I want to say it was Barkley, but the coach had the second guy in. He goes, "Hey, I know you're close." He said, "No, keep him in there." So I get it, but it's Eric Dickerson's old record. Like this
something nice. Man.
This has stood up for so long,
Yeah.
and he's close to doing it. Look, I guess if the Eagles can do something and get back to the Super Bowl, all's forgiven and win. But if it doesn't, you're always scratching your head, like going, "Ugh, I could have went down," because this thing, if I break this, it's probably going to withstand the test of time for at least another
But you go into
20 years?
You go into the history books. Do you know what I mean? Like, and listen, I know the main goal is getting to the Super Bowl, but records being broken is something that we all love about sports. And I don't know if I don't want to say this that Sirianni's been what's the proper term for him? Like, he's thinking about his team in the long term goal, but this should be up to the player too.
But the team he's playing against, to be able to do it against them, I don't know if you saw that there was somehow they recorded the beginning of the season with the Giants, and they were talking about what to do with Barkley.
Yeah,
and the coach is saying, "How are we paying this much money to a 27-year-old running back or whatever it was?" And just like, we got to do something. And then the other person in the room goes, "I don't want him to go to Philadelphia, I think," or something like that. And this could really backfire on us. And of course, what happens with that team? Just a complete disaster.
Aiden O'Neill says he also would have played one more game than Dickerson if he played this weekend too to break it. That's a fair point, because back then they played less games. So
yeah.
And Rip City Step says he currently has 34 less carries than Dickerson did, though, so the extra game isn't that big of a factor. That's a good point too. I mean, regardless of the games played, he's close to breaking it.
Yeah,
and that's just an awesome feat in itself. But I wish he would have played. But I mean, if I was a fan of the Eagles, I think I'd be like, "No, we need you for the playoffs." I think I'd be in
if
that.
it's Connor like going up against a record, last game of the year, are you? And it's everything's decided.
Yeah,
you know where you're playing. It's a meaningless game, even if there's 2 games left in the season.
Yeah,
do you
risk it?
Risk it.
And now you can't coach scared that your players are going to get hurt. I understand that, but I'm just intrigued, like, for our listeners and our viewers, for your team, the teams that you cheer for, the Oilers and your NFL team, would you want, if let's just say Barkley was on your team, would you want him to play and break the record or try to break the record? Or would you prefer him sit out because the long-term goal eventually is being successful in the playoffs and ultimately winning the Super Bowl?
I think it's got to be. I mean, I hate seeing regulars play preseason in the NHL. It's like, how many big injuries happened in preseason this year? Right?
Well, Doughty,
Liney, like just huge factors. Actually, it didn't really mean much in the end. But who knows? Maybe if Liney's with the Canadians there to start the season, I don't know. Does he make that much of a difference?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Maybe they're 2 wins better. I don't know, but that's a rebuilding team. LA has been fine without Doughty, and they're only going to get better when they do get him. So, all right, guys, 88 watching. We got 30 thumbs up. If we get to 60 by the time 2 o'clock hits, we'll do the giveaway for Gimme Virtual Golf in the 2 p.m. hour off the hop. If not, we're going to have to continue to wait. So let's go. Hammer that thumbs up. And text us at the River Cree inbox or hit us up on the Nasty Chat. Up next, it's your favorite segment on EST Afternoon. It's the Red Light District with Joaquin Gage. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. But first up, here's Zach with a sports update.
Canada gets set to face Czechia in World Junior quarterfinal action, and earlier Kazakhstan dropped a 4-3 decision to Germany, while Sweden stood 3-2 over Latvia. And right now Switzerland trails the United States 4-1 early in the second. And in the NHL, the Flyers get set to battle the Golden Knights. Wild meet the Caps, while the Maple Leafs and Islanders go at it, seeing 12 games around the league. Elsewhere, 6 games go down in the NBA, having the Clippers take on the Thunder. 76ers hit the court with the Warriors, while the Celtics tip off with the Timberwolves. This sports update is presented by Gimme Virtual Golf. Step into a whole new golfing experience with 240 unique courses for you to play. Plus, they have a hydraulic swing plate that automatically tees the ball up for you. And with the innovative technology replicating real-life ball lies moving in 24 different directions. Gimme Virtual Golf, where innovation meets the game. Visit their website at gimmevirtualgolf.ca. Red Light District is after the break here on EST Afternoons. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, like, he wants to be formal, but he's also here to party too.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road Park.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I said, wait, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's on your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Book your holiday party at the CBH today. The Canadian Brewhouse is your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now in-store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light. Those days are over. You don't have to sell your body to the night.
Joaquin.
You don't have to wear that dress tonight. Walk the streets for money. You don't care if it's wrong or if it's right.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light.
Joaquin. 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 144. Welcome back to EST Afternoons. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat. Text us on the River Cree inbox. 218-780-218-9999. It's time for the Red Light District, brought to you by no one yet. It's coming, though. I can feel it in 2025. Someone's going to partner up with the Red Light District. But, Gager, what do you have for us today?
Well, so I know last time, or last show, when we were talking about you specifically, just New Year's resolutions. And I was going to go New Year's resolutions, but you had already taken it. But I want to go a little bit more in depth with the start of the year here. And I always find, like, I was thinking, okay, what do I do this time of year? And usually it's just I complain a lot. So, and I go, why is it January? And you know what? Before you know it, everyone's going to be saying, can you believe it's February already?
I know.
And so this month of January to me always kind of gets a bad rap. You've got the holiday hangover basically, and especially in our climate, the most things we're kind of looking forward to is maybe a little skiing, but weather getting better, a little bit brighter out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a conscious effort, and kind of along the lines with New Year's resolutions is just make everything a little bit better. What can I do to make anything a little bit better this month? And this is really weird, but I always find walking my dog, especially in the wintertime, people don't pick up their dog poop. And it just drives me crazy. And they do it because they think the snow is going to be covered up. And this is just one of the things. January gets a bad rap. Before you know it, everyone's mad about things. So this month, I'm going to try to be just a little bit nicer and do things for people. I'm going to try to be a little bit nicer, just because, again, I always find that this month is grumpy for me, and I'm not as my jovial self as much. So January is going to be a completely different month for me, and I suggest everyone do the same, because what do we like? What is it? 21 days to start a new routine, right? So working out, reading books. January, I'm going to start this year off right, and hopefully it just coasts into the next 11.
Well, that's good for me and Zach. We don't want to work with a grumpy Gage, right?
Right? And you were already nice today. You made us pizza and brought it into the bullpen.
That was my
great.
whole thing. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do something nice for everyone and things like that.
You made us pizza. That's a good one. So you're going to pick up the dog poop? No?
Well, this is another thing, because the other day there's a little dog poop bag holder that I have, and sometimes there's only one left, and I forgot to replace the thing, so I went, and my dog was pooping on this guy's lawn, and the guy was standing there looking, and I'm like, and I was giving him the 1 sec, and I was gonna go back and get it because it was just down and I'll pick it up. I'm out. I was trying to, and then so I ended up, I forgot. But the next day I went back and I did pick it up. So,
nice.
So that was another thing. I hated that feeling, and then I was like, oh my gosh. So hopefully, if that guy's listening, I picked up that crap for you.
Dog Dad says, I can't believe it's already the 2nd.
But doesn't it? Like this month,
because my dad always says it's the longest month of the year. You get no days off outside of after the 1st. You're a little
broke.
You're a little broke for sure. It's cold. It's dark. It's just January is gonna be one of those months, because at least in February it's usually pretty cold, but the days get a little bit longer, and then in March we're already through it. I'm not too worried about it. It's only a matter of time, right? So January is a tough month.
It's a tough month, but it's like, I want to have fun this month, and maybe you can. You give us some ideas in the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. What are some good things that you can get through the bad dog days of January, let's say? Is there some, I know it's cold, but I'd like to do more stuff outside. It doesn't always have to be skiing, and I know I go outside with the dog and stuff, but what are some other kind of things that we can do just to brighten up our lives?
Baggio says, Gager, I'm a jogger, and people who don't pick up the animals' gifts along my run is massive pet peeve of mine, pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, I've been, even when if it's really bad, like I'll grab another dog's thing because it's right in the middle, and I know some, like I'm right by the school, and I just think some little kid's going to step in this, and then he's going to track it all the way through the school and stuff. I'm just like, just come on, guys, pick it up.
Bronco Nick, Hernan, did you enjoy any wines from the magazine I dropped off for Maddie? Oh, I saw your link, and no, I haven't just yet. There's a lot of ones that intrigue me. Since Christmas, I really haven't dipped into the wine yet. You got me a nice bottle before New Year's, so we haven't opened that one yet.
Haven't? Wow.
No, not yet. I had one glass for New Year's, a little tiny one, just to, celebrate
wet the whistle
and bring in the New Year's. So, for sure. But so we're going to get positive Gager here for January. We'll see how long that lasts.
See how long this lasts. No, it's good. It'll be good. It'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, there's, lots of change, which I think is good going into every year. But I think 2025 is going to be a very productive and fun year.
Yeah, it should be fun. Kids go back to school on Monday.
Yeah,
so they still got a few days here.
See, and that's I find it very difficult right now. Just you're in between New Year's, you've had time off. It's a broken up week. You're kind of just waiting to get to the weekend so we can kind of reset Monday, get back to that routine, and start pounding this thing out.
And then there's lots of games for the Oilers. They play a ton. And then we get into the good old Four Nations, which is going to be fun.
NFL
playoffs. A couple important games this weekend, but the rest are going to be just blah. A lot of guys resting their starters. But, the Oilers play a ton of hockey this month. In total, they'll play, let's see here, 5, 9, 12, 14 games, Gager.
Love it.
So every Saturday... From here on in, the Oilers will be in action. And then next week, they're all early games because they go out on the road, Gager, and all 5 o'clock games. Hernan likes that.
Does he like that?
It means not so late nights.
I know. And less work for Reed and Jay.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We cut into their show. Well, that's a tough one for them, too, because they jump on for an hour, then they got to leave for an hour, then they got to come back while the game's on.
Yeah.
So those are always tough. I always find those ones tough as well. Bronco Nick, on one of the sunny days, grab a hot coffee, take the dog for a walk, and enjoy the sunshine. Find a quiet place and take a few breaths of the crisp air and yellow drum.
You got to be at the top of a hill for that.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. Yesterday on AMC was a Rocky marathon.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
they'll still get to me.
Yeah. I mean, I do that. The Terwilliger Dog Park is awesome on a clear day. And it's like when it's, probably around -10, -12. Between 10 and 15 is great because you're kind of bundled up, see your breath, nice coffee, and it's a great walk. It's an awesome walk. And there's no, if you want to ever see pure enjoyment in anything, look at my dog when we get down there. I wish I could be that happy.
What's it called? You walk him every day?
Mm-hmm.
For how long?
Well, it depends. There's certain routes that I go on. He's getting pretty stubborn now because he knows there's probably, I would say, about 10 to 15 routes that I'll go depending on the weather and things like that. And if he knows which way I'm going, he'll put the brakes on. He'll just pull back and sit there. I was arguing with him the other day, yesterday actually. And he was pulling back on the leash, and I looked over, and there was 2 cars. They just stopped and were watching me battle with my dog to go the other direction. And I finally went across the street because they were waiting, and they were just dying laughing because my boy got his way, and we went the other direction because he wanted to go longer, obviously.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
You still take him out when it's really, really cold, though?
He's a Bernese Mountain Dog, so he loves it.
He loves it. Okay.
Yeah. I'll watch it if he starts lifting his feet.
Yeah.
But that's why he wants to go into the other places. But a lot of the pathways are already shoveled and stuff, so it's not as bad. But if we're going through snow, right, his paws get cold. And I don't want him to get frostbite.
Of course. Yeah.
See, right now it's we're cold right now, right? So -17. He'll be fine. He'll go sit in the backyard and just lay out on the deck at this point. But I try to bring him in to warm him up.
All right, we're 16 away from 60. If you want the 2 hours of free virtual golf at Gimme Virtual Golf, you got about 5 minutes to hit 60. So slam that thumbs up. That was the Red Light District with Joaquin Gage, who said he's just going to be more jolly in January instead of being pissed off and angry and cranky. And
I'm gonna find the bright things in January, not just trying to look always to the next day and hopefully it gets better. I'm gonna seize the moment. Carpe diem.
That's good. How's the book reading going?
It's good.
Yeah.
What a book, man.
Yeah, it's good.
It's really good.
Yeah, that's on my list. I have so many on the list.
12. So I got to get this done, which I don't think it'll be too bad. I'll pound that out. Hopefully by this weekend, I think.
Do you have the next one in line?
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you want to read?
Well, I like reading things that I'm currently interested in because it's a lot easier to read, obviously, right? So I went through a kick after watching that movie Lone Survivor. It's that Mark Wahlberg true story of the Navy SEALs. And I got on a big kick of that, and I read 3 Navy SEAL books.
Oh, nice.
Fascinating stuff. And but I don't know. F1, I don't know if I'll go back to back with F1. I've been researching a lot of books, and there's all the self-help books, and some guy put out like a top 12. I was just kind of going through there and saying, maybe just
If you want to read a good book about like just it's called Intangibles, and it's about chemistry in sports.
Oh yeah.
And the author was a former reporter for the San Francisco Giants, and she goes in depth on analytics and what she talks to guys that are like the glue guy in the rooms.
Oh really?
It is really good, man.
Huh.
Yeah, she touches like almost on every sport.
Okay.
Who was the one player that was very toxic? Might have been Barry. No, it wasn't Barry Bonds. Yeah, it might have been Barry
Bonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
could see that.
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson was
not toxic, but like, like I'm not doing this, so don't bother asking me. Yeah. Kind of like I run my show. Like I'm not doing media if I don't want to.
Yeah. I remember Bo. Like you've seen his 30 for 30, right?
Oh yeah, I read his book.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's.
I read it last year. He's got a fascinating story.
Yeah.
Absolutely fascinating. Like where he came from, what he did, and unfortunately injuries caught up to him.
But
course.
too, he got kind of screwed over by people screwing him over and his eligibility to play baseball too at the collegiate level, which sucks.
And like this guy was a machine though. Play both sports. I mean, Deion Sanders did it too. He was excellent at it.
Yeah. But Bo was different, man.
Different for sure. Different. Van Owen says, Gage, you're finding the bright things in life until the moron on the Henday cuts him off.
You know what? I've got so much. I have patience in the vehicle. I have tons. I really could care less what people are doing. It's the stupid little things that drive me crazy.
Okay, so and then Van Owen adds, both of you guys should check out The Tiger by John Valiant. Just looked it up. That sounds interesting. Sorry, I was just reading a quick synopsis. Damn it, Van Owen. I have too many on my list already. But it's fun. I mean, I can lend you the Bo Jackson one, too, if you're interested in that.
Yeah, I might have to have a look at that one.
Yeah.
But I know I want to read something that I have no prior knowledge about, right?
I'm all over the place.
Yeah, I think that's good, too. You don't want to read the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I know certain people only like a certain genre or certain author, and I'm kind of all over the place. If it intrigues me, I'll read it.
Yeah.
And if it sucks, like I've read some bad books, but I finish them. Just can't drop them halfway through, right? So
no, that sucks.
It does. Coming up in hour 2, Guy Flaming from the Pipeline Show and color analyst on the Edmonton Oil Kings broadcast will join us at 2:20 as Canada gets set to face Czechia at 5:30. Currently, the U.S. all over Switzerland 6-1. Sweden beat Latvia earlier today 3-2, and I think there was another. Germany beat Kazakhstan in the. I think that was a qualifying or to stay up game.
Yeah, that's good because my buddy Toby, the head coach, that's good.
No, that's great. And I will continue to talk NHL, NFL, maybe some college football. I know Maddie's really big into it. There was a fun game yesterday that I tuned in for the last 5 minutes and overtime, which was awesome, Gage. Just absolutely awesome. What are we at for thumbs up here? Are we going to be giving away the virtual? Let's see. Nope, not even close. All right. We will be giving away 2 hours of virtual golf at Gimme Virtual Golf here in the West End in the second hour as well. It's Joaquin Gage, it's Hernan Salas, it's Zach Kubusch here on EST Afternoons. Keep sending us messages on the Nasty Chat and at the River Cree inbox at 780-218-9999. Sports Talk continues after the break.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I say, hey, 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 it's just an ordinary day, and it's on your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
World Junior quarterfinal action sees Canada taking on Czechia and Finland, throwing it down against Slovakia. Earlier, Sweden held off Latvia 3-2, while Germany edged out Kazakhstan 4-3. And right before the break, the Americans took a 6-1 lead over the Swiss, nearing the end of 40. Elsewhere, top prospect Matthew Schaefer is out 3 months after breaking his collarbone in Canada's 3-2 loss to Latvia. And a dozen games dot the NHL slate, including the Canucks and Kraken. While on the court, the Pacers play the Heat and the Nets tip off with the Bucks, seeing 6 games in the association. In just a moment, the Sugar Bowl gets underway with Notre Dame kicking off against Georgia. EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Hour 2 here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Zach Kubusch with you here as it's a World Junior Day. Lots of games in the NHL too, Gager. There's tons of good action, so a full day of sports. And like our good buddy Koob Nation said, is it the Sugar Bowl that you said?
The Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, Notre Dame and Georgia going at it. I know Jay Millen and Matthew Wannick are really into it. I don't know if you watched any of the college yesterday. It was it Texas and
ASU.
Arizona State? Oh, what an overtime, Gage.
That's with the running back. What's his name? Isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Little guy. But oh, shoot. Sorry. Wow.
Yeah, Gage forgot. Gage forgot the microphone there. Yeah, it is. It is what
I'm
it
just
is.
trying to be better, people. Not off to a good start.
A lot happier though.
Happier. Just can't
Yeah,
operate a microphone.
You wouldn't be upset about that.
My God.
We're coming to you live from the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. If you want to watch us, hit us up on the EST YouTube channel. The Nasty Chat's there. It's going strong right now. Text us at the River Cree inbox 780-218-9999. And if you're listening, I harder the TuneIn radio apps or Edmonton Sports Talk .com. The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu, Gager, is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m.
Ooh.
Gotta make it out there, man.
Yeah, we do.
I love the River Cree.
Yeah. It's great.
It's a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really good spot. I have no issues with the River Cree. I like to go there and play some roulette sometimes.
Oh,
Haven't been there in a while, though.
No, it's been a while for me, too. My buddies usually go out there. Well, that was the last time I went there for dinner with him. My old buddy Shane Peacock. Great guy.
Mike, the Michigan fan, says minus 10 to 15 is a perfect temp for my Swiss mountain dog. He's in his glory at the dog park these days.
Oh, yeah.
Rip City Step says, you guys realize WWE moving to Netflix meant every Royal Rumble ever is now on Netflix? I saw that. That's pretty cool. And then he says, Jasmine has declared she hopes to be meaner this January. And Gage has declared he hopes to bring cheer and joy to everyone. Was
that a surprise she wants to be even meaner? Like, geez.
Is it possible?
I didn't think it was possible. Like,
and then Blaine says, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Great book, fellas. I've heard that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's a good. I haven't read that one either, but it's on the list.
Okay.
But I heard that one's really good. It's got really great reviews. Matt Hyman on the Nasty Chat. Happy New Year, Hernan and Gage. All the best in 2025, unless the Oilers are playing the Jets. That'd be a good conference final. Eh?
That's yeah. I think I'll just go back to the old Smythe division. I love it.
We'd have to fight Huss, man.
I know.
And then Fish Tank says, how about those Washington Capitals? I'm just on Ovi watch. Good on them. They're having a hell of a season. I wanted to ask you, so Brad Richardson, who used to play for the Canucks, bottom $6,000. He joined, I think it's Scotty Upshall's podcast. And he was in the room with Vancouver, and he said, I told JT to lay off the kid. He goes, I love JT Miller. He's my boy. He goes, but I told him, you got to lay off him. This is going to go bad. And he goes, I can tell you there is a problem in that room.
Okay, yeah.
So this is a former player, knowing that JT Miller's kind of, I don't know if it's bullying or just being a real, what?
I've seen that before on teams where there is, lack of a better term, it is bullying.
Yeah.
There's just something, probably the best thing that Pettersson could have done was, I don't know, slash him or whatever. Just stick up for yourself. Because it seems like he's pretty reserved, guy. And
little soft. Because then their GM earlier this week, too, came out and he did an interview and all Vancouver media were tweeting out what he said. And he pretty much said, he goes, he loves Elias Pettersson. He goes, our stars have to be better. He goes, and when things are not going well, he needs to find a better way to face the music. And that's pretty telling to me. That's pretty much saying the guy doesn't take ownership, always wants to shy away from when they're not doing well. And I think that's a problem, and I think that's a character flaw in Pettersson too.
Well, you could see it, and I always give obviously the athlete the benefit of the doubt when speaking to the media, especially right after games, when things are heated. But there was an interview with Pettersson, I believe, last year, kind of garbage bag day after the Oilers defeated them in the playoffs. And he had to face the music because he had a very mediocre performance in that playoffs. And
MIA.
He could have, there's a way to diffuse everything and just get out in front of it. Go, look, I wasn't good enough. You can't tell me he came out of that playoffs thinking, you know what, I didn't play that bad. He knew he wasn't great. And he could have just started off the conversation by, look, that's not my best hockey. I have to be better in the future. I will be better in the future. This is, again, a learning experience.
Yeah.
He's never been to the second round before. But now I know a little bit more of what it takes to get to the third round of the playoffs, and I'm going to be better for it. If he just says that instead of just,
the attitude,
the attitude and the poopy pants, because that's just fodder for reporters at that point, because now they can just keep digging and digging, and then you get the reactions from him. And maybe that's what your teammates see that, and he's not really taking ownership. So, and maybe that's why JT Miller gets on, because JT's pretty much an open book when you talk to him, right? He's very, he's confrontational, but he'll tell it like it is.
I was told by someone that's close to the team or covers the team that the Vancouver Canucks players, a lot of them are hard to deal with. They're just a-holes. And in that list, it's Pettersson. I heard Hronik's the worst.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because remember last year at the end, he went at it with a reporter. He's like, what's your problem? Why don't you answer the question? He won't do it.
Oh, really?
I heard Demko's in that group, JT Miller. I heard they're very hard to deal with.
Sometimes there's...
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
You're the stars of the team. People are going to want to talk to you. It's part of the gig, man. Deal with it.
Yeah, not many people, even though I talked to reporters, they weren't writing a lot because no one wanted to hear what I had to say. But it's true. Who do you want to hear most of from the team after a loss or something like that. It's Connor and Leon, and that's it.
Like when I was with the Elks and I grab a player, I'm like, you got to do media. They're like, why do they want to talk to me? And I'd just be, because you're a star, man. And they'd be like, and I'm like, and your mom can watch this. Okay. Yeah. You just, you gotta up their ego a bit and then bring up mom. And they're just like, okay, I'll do it. And then I had one guy. It was funny. I won't go by names, but he was a special team American player.
Yeah.
And he came up to me one day. He goes, I just want you to know how to do media. And in my head, I was like, well, you'll get fined. Like, it's up to you. But in my head, I'm like, no one's going to, like, why are you already being
why are you getting
hard about it when I haven't even asked you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't see why it's, I mean, I'd love to go back and see some of my old interviews when I did do media because they were probably just red rotten. But it was fun. I mean, whatever. It's not.
Do you remember your first professional interview? Like who was in the scrum or who interviewed you?
I really remember after my first win against Anaheim, and it was Greg Millen. Greg Mullen?
Millen, the goalie?
Yeah.
So he's still doing
games. He's still doing it. And so it was cool because we were in a little booth like outside the rink after in the little area. And he starts, okay, well, we'll just ask you a few things. Like, oh, cool. And we started chatting. And then I made reference to one of the highlights, and I was really out of position. It looked like I was swimming. And I was going, and I believe I said, that's a new goaltending move. It's called the beach whale. And he kind of laughed because he's an old goalie. And he gave me the biggest praise after that interview, which was, I just tried to, give it 110% and all that stuff. But he said, you know what? That was great. Thank you for that. It was nice to see a personality in a player.
Of course.
Because some of them are pretty, lame and lackluster. So, I mean, the best interviews that you see usually are if it's a guy that's very comfortable around the camera. But like Oak and Louis have the after hours when they can kind of get the guys to loosen up a little bit and laugh.
Yeah,
those are the best ones, So,
and that's a good point though, because like Kevin Brown, like absolute like character, like funny, like outspoken. But then he'd do media and he was completely different.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, why do you like, he goes, I don't know. I just get relieved. And it was funny because I always had my whiteboard and your name goes on the board. And he'd walk by me with his helmet like this. Like, what it's. And I'd be like, I can still see you, man. Like, your name's on the board. So get over here. And then, like, I'm not saying he was terrible, but like, he was just so, and I'm like, but you're so, like, just talking to you one-on-one, you're hilarious. Yeah. Like, why don't you be like that with the, he goes, I don't know, something about that damn camera.
And it's hard. It's very, like, you're so jacked after a game, and if you lose, and maybe you gave the puck away, and of course all these guys come in and ask you, why'd you give the puck away? Well, I didn't mean to give the puck away. So your hackles are already up, and I mean, Leon Draisaitl, he's fun to interview because when things are going well, like you see his personality come out, and obviously this is a guy that cares a lot, and he's not going to be the most open after a loss because he probably doesn't want to talk to everyone. But I think in certain cases, and I'm not in those scrums, and I've never done it, so I have no experience, but I think there's a way that you can ask questions to get these guys to open up and get how they really feel about certain when it's situational and it's about themselves. I think they'll open up a little bit more.
Yeah, because with the Elks, it was always interesting because you have so many players, right? So you don't know who's going to be good. Like I can talk to them all I want, but I remember I'd grab a Nick Anderson for an example. The first time Morley asked for him, it was just a one-on-one. Morley goes, man, that guy was good. So I'm like, hey, that's good to know, right? Because people are always like, who's a good speaker? Who's not going to give me 2-word answers, right? And there was one player that he was very nervous, and he did the interview, and then he goes, man, that was terrible. Like, can they not play it? I'm like, well, how bad? Like, and then so I went to talk to the media guy. He goes, no, it was fine.
Oh yeah, okay.
So, but and I said, okay, like, what's the deal here? Like, are you just nervous? He goes, yeah. I'm like, okay, and we worked with him on what kind of answers to give. You're not sure, right? Because some of these guys are like, should I be honest? I'm like, well, I mean, there's you know, like,
well, this guy sucks.
yeah, like, you know, like you play the game, you know, cliche answers and all that. But and then there's just guys that are natural at it.
Yeah.
Like MBT was just phenomenal interview. Like he was. I remember he would do like radio hits and like he'd break down plays, and even the host would be like, "Holy crap! Like that's the best breakdown I've ever had on this show." Like he was really, really good at it.
Yeah, I played junior with a guy. He was, I won't say his name, but he goes, next interview I'm only using cliches. And he was a pretty funny guy, so it was funny listen because we were all kind of listening to it. It just started, well, we really tried to take the wind out of their sails, and then it just went on and on.
I would love that if one guy did that just said
full cliches of everything. God, it was funny.
So when I did Locked On Oilers podcast before I joined the Elks, I'd have not a segment, but I'd do like depending on how the game went, I do a cliche segment. It was just, because YouTube has all these cliches.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a 3-minute thing, and it's just different players saying cliche things. Like, you know, we just put pucks on net. And, keep your stick on the ice.
Stick on the ice. Working hard.
We'll give it 120%. Did you have a go-to cliche answer?
I always tried to incorporate wind out of their sails. You know, second period, they really took the wind out of our sails there, and we needed a strong breeze to get back at her. And
did you get media training?
No.
Okay. I don't even think they do now, do they?
I don't know. I remember it was funny. We had the video at the beginning of the year, just how to be careful in certain situations.
Okay. Yeah.
Like don't get put in compromising places, and it was hilarious. So it was like an episode of TV with a team winning a championship. You don't know what sport it is, right? And then you get the one guy that they're at the bar, and this guy's taking you somewhere, and he's giving you drugs, and you're in a compromising situation, and all these certain scenarios to watch for. And I'm just going, really? We have to watch this thing? Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, we didn't have media training, but like I said, there was guys that were honest and said, "Hey, I'm not very good. Like, what should I say?" So you walk them through it. And if there's sometimes they want a player that there's a reason why it's a controversy or something. So you just go, "Hey, man, like I recommend you say this and don't go there and don't go there." And most guys are like, "Oh, thanks," you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so there. It's not planned, but you discuss with guys certain situations. And then there's, like I said, there's the pros. Like guys that play like big time college schools, like those guys come ready, right? Because they've done it so much.
Yeah.
So, and I always found like the Canadian dudes are always all good.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, they just were natural at it. So very, very interesting when it comes to interviews, because even in the NHL, buddy, there's still some bad ones.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's funny because you, like, I don't want to single out, but John Tavares in an interview, it's excruciating sometimes. But when you see him just talking, like, he seems quite dry and funny, and stuff. So he was sitting, I don't know who he was with, but he was with another teammate talking, and I was like, oh my God, he's like got a personality, you know? So it's just, I don't know, it's weird.
Sometimes it can be deceiving, for sure. The good old Sugar Bowl is underway, just underway, so no score there. We'll keep you updated on Georgia and Notre Dame, as well as World Juniors. The U.S. up 7-1 now as we await Canada and Czechia, and we're going to tee that up next with Guy Flaming from the Pipeline Show here on EST Afternoons. Also, 2 hours at Gimme Virtual Golf still to come your way. We'll have some trivia, so get ready for that. Let's keep hammering that thumbs up. We get over 60, we'll do the giveaway. But up next, Guy Flaming from the Pipeline Show joins Joaquin Gage and myself here on EST Afternoons. First up, a sports update with Zach.
Canada gets set to face Czechia while Finland takes on Slovakia in World Junior quarter final action. Earlier, Kazakhstan dropped a 4-3 decision to Germany while Sweden stood over Latvia 3-2. And right now, Switzerland trails the United States 7-1 at the end of 40. And in the NHL, the Flyers Battle the Golden Ice Wild meet the Caps, while the Maple Leafs and Islanders go at it, seeing 12 games around the league. Elsewhere, 6 games dot the NBA slate, including the Clippers tipping off with the Thunder. And down south, the Sugar Bowl has just gotten underway, seeing Georgia duke it out against Notre Dame. Guy Flaming joins EST Afternoons after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a surf and turf dinner for 2 at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper. It deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
In life, it takes a village. From childhood to your golden years, we all need support. At Capital Care Foundation, we've built that village for our 2,100 seniors. Join us in creating a nurturing environment that feels like home and fosters community connections. Your donation makes a difference. Visit capitalcarefoundation.net today and become a vital part of our village. Because together, we can make every stage of life a shared journey. Be a part of the journey. Support Capital Care Foundation.
Welcome back to EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Zach Kubusch with you. Rusty Shackelford in at the River Cree inbox. I missed the Senators post-game exercise bike interviews. Those used to drive me crazy. It's like, just stand in your stall, bro. Like,
yeah.
You might, like.
Well, who was the coach? Was they had to get out there and get the lactate out right after the games, like it was mandatory.
But it was for a while though.
Oh
man.
yeah,
yeah. It became like a thing.
I wonder it was just because they knew the media guys didn't like it or whatever, and they just
That's another thing.
I think it was.
But for a player, like, you just played a game, now you're riding the bike, and the last thing you want to do is be talking to someone.
Yeah.
Right?
I loved the Noodles and Luongo when they were interviewing Luongo on the bike. Then they panned down, and Noodles was moving his feet.
Oh, that's good. Keep hammering that thumbs up. We're 5 away from 60. We want to get to 100. It seems unlikely right now, but if we get to 60, we're going to do our giveaway for Gimme Virtual Golf. 2 hours of free time there with some trivia. But right now, we're going to switch gears and talk some World Juniors and some Oil Kings. They were in action in their traditional New Year's Day game. I saw that they fell in that one, but we'll get to all that with Guy Flaming, who joins us from the Pipeline Show. Guy, Happy New Year, my friend. How was your New Year?
I'm doing well, and then Happy New Year to you guys as well. I'm old, so New Year was pretty tame for me. Made it to midnight. Not a whole lot after that, but there was not a whole lot of partying, put it that way.
And you had to work the next day too, so you're a responsible
That's true.
adult. So let's start with the World Juniors here, Guy. You know, the big criticism right now is discipline for this team. I know there's a lot being talked about that they didn't pick the best players. What are you seeing from Team Canada here that sees them take on Czechia, but also coming off of a bad loss to the U.S. where discipline was a factor? But what are you seeing from Team Canada so far in this tournament?
Discipline definitely a factor in that last game. I don't like nobody's taken like accountability for it. All the post-game interviews, even with the head coach, Dave Cameron, it's all like, we don't really have an answer for it. You know, we have to play through it and blah, blah, blah. But like, Sam Dickinson's a really, really good player. 2 terrible penalties.
Yeah.
Cowan is a good player. Just brutal decision-making with penalties. Carson Rakoff, he's a goal scorer. Can't score goals from the penalty box, and he took 2 dumb penalties as well. I thought Canada was just really undisciplined against the Americans. They, for whatever reason, they're having a really tough time producing any sort of offense. Defensively, they're great. They've only given up 7 goals. It's the lowest of anybody in the tournament, but they can't score. And that's a big problem. Power play has been completely ineffective. And you can criticize the team that they put together for sure, but there's enough talent on that team that they should not be having problems scoring. It's still, I mean, these are still some of the best junior hockey players in the country. You can make an argument that there should be some other guys there, and that's fine. But Matt Schaefer being knocked out of this tournament with a broken collarbone, that's a huge blow to their, like he is the juggernaut offensive guy from the blue line, even though he's an underage player. Tanner Mollendike's having to step up, and Sam Dickinson has got an increased role now offensively. And it's been a struggle for them. They're not practicing. I don't understand that. Like they didn't practice after the loss against Latvia, no practice after the loss against the United States. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And I think a lot of it's coming from the coaching staff.
Is it the norm to not practice here, Guy? Like because of the tight schedule and all that? Like what's up with that?
Well, it's not like you have to have bag skates, but get out and just work the power play. Like you don't have to be skating all out in a practice, but these are guys who don't play together for the most part all season. Why wouldn't you want to have a little bit of on ice stuff to try to fine tune some things? Clearly, when it's not working, why wouldn't you want to have some, a 30, 40-minute practice just to kind of bring the guys together and work some things out? It doesn't make sense to me, but I never played at that level like Gager.
Well, I'm just because the one reason why I love the World Juniors and all junior hockey is the emotional roller coasters of games.
Sure.
And there's no higher emotional roller coaster than you see when Canada plays either the old Russian team or their new rivals, right, the U.S. But so seeing all this, the not practicing, the what the coach is saying, I don't know what to do here, or I'm paraphrasing here. He has no control over things. Do you think that, and there sometimes as a hockey player taking in that us against the world mentality, is this enough that you think that Canada can still get back and possibly challenge for a gold medal? Or is this, without Schaefer, losing that offensive touch from the blue line, is this kind of an off year for Canada? Or is there still a hope to medal and possibly do something special?
They have the horses to do it. I don't know that they have the coaching structure to do it and the implementation, the whatever the tactics on the ice to be able to do it. We haven't seen it yet. There's nothing we've seen in the tournament that suggests that they'll get past the Czech Republic today or Czechia. There are people picking Czechia to win this game. And if Canada wins that game, great. They're still going to have to probably play Sweden and then probably the Americans in the final. They got the 3 top teams in the tournament that they're going to have to knock off to win a gold this year. So the schedule is not favorable for them. They really needed to have a better result against the Americans, or obviously the Latvian loss. But that said, they do have the ability, they have the talent in the dressing room to beat Czechia and to go on and win a gold. But they got to do it. We just haven't seen them do it. We know they can, but we just haven't. There's no reason to think right now, based on what we've seen, that they will.
Keith Flaming from the Pipeline Show joining us here on EST Afternoons. TSN's Mark Masters sent it out on X earlier today that he sees that a projected healthy scratch for tonight's quarterfinal will be forward Carson Raykop. Is that the right move in your eyes, Guy? I saw a little bit of some pushback on his tweet there from many fans.
Well, their problem is they can't score, so they're getting rid of they're scratching one of their top goal scorers.
Oh, wow.
So that's, and listen, I'm not talking about in this tournament because nobody's scoring in this tournament for Canada, but in the CHL, he's playing with the Brampton Steelheads, and he's one of the top goal scorers in the OHL over the last couple of years. So that's a bit of a head scratcher. At the same time, I didn't like him in the last game against the Americans. He mentioned he took a couple of stupid penalties. Yeah. So if you're going to do that, okay, well, then I guess you're kind of sending a message, but bringing in Porter Martone, who is one of the top ranked players for the draft this year, is great. but he didn't have a great start to the tournament either. So I don't know what the easy solution is, but I don't know that I would have done this one. I can't say that it's a mistake, but you're taking out at least a guy who potentially can score a goal for you. Not to say that Martin can't, because he can, but I'm not sure what the line combinations are going to be tonight. I would assume they're putting him in a blender because what they've done so far hasn't worked.
Guy, just switching gears to the Oil Kings now. I always found that when I played, it was an interesting time of year because sometimes you'd have one or two of your main guys go and play in the World Juniors on your team. And in my years, it was Steve Konowalchuk and Adam Deadmarsh that would go play for the U.S. team. But I see that the Oil Kings have recalled Cage Smith and goalie Parker Snell for the next little bit. What can you tell about these guys? And is this just kind of an opportunity to see what these players can do, just with maybe a roster that's during the World Juniors? You want to take a look at these guys?
Well, I hadn't heard about Snell being recalled, so I don't know if there's somebody banged up. They do have 3-3 this weekend, so it might be just to have an extra guy around. With Cage Smith, I'm assuming that also means then that Caden Strader probably goes back to Saskatchewan.
That's what
where
it said,
he was
yeah.
playing. Yeah, so, I mean, he can only play 5 games right now until the end of the season. Actually, they've increased that to 10, but he's been terrific. So if he's got to go back, then Cage Smith comes in. He's a local guy, so it's an easy transition to bring him in, and it's worth looking at him as well because he's a good young player. With the World Juniors, I mean, they've been without Adam Yeko and Miroslav Holinka here, who will both be playing against Canada today. So win or lose, the Oil King fans should be kind of happy, I guess. But they've been having success even with those guys gone. And I know sometimes that takes the wind out of the sails for some teams that some of their star power is away for the better part of a month. But the Oil Kings haven't missed a beat here.
How cool was it? Since the break, they're 2-1. They lost yesterday 4-1 to the Calgary Hitmen, but some big, I think, 13 goals in the 2 games before that, following the Christmas break. How cool was it to see Joe Iginla net his first hat trick as a junior player?
Yeah, really good. The young guys, the youth has been served here for the Oil Kings through December. Other guys have played really well too. Jack Toogood, Caden Strader, who I mentioned, Luke Powell's been good. But to see Joe Iginla have chemistry with some guys, those young guys that, over the next 2 or 3 years, that's going to be the future of the Oil Kings. So that's really positive and something to build off of. And got the hat trick, and I thought the third goal was probably the best of the 3. And it was great. He's just he was always smiling. He kind of reminds me of Curtis Lazar a little bit in that sense. That he's, you might punch him in the face, and he's going to get up and he's going to be smiling anyway. He just loves to be on the ice, and it was nice for him. I know it probably hasn't been the offensive season that he's expected for himself this year. It took him a while to get going, but December was a really good month for him, and I think the second half probably more of the same to come.
Guy, so I know when we spoke before, and we talk about the junior hockey being, certain windows to have success. Looking at how the Oil Kings have performed over the last month here, and it's gone pretty well. Where do you see them at? Do they become more buyers or sellers, or is it basically at this point trying to, if the right deal's out there, they'll pull the trigger, but with the amount of draft picks and their young talent, do you see them just kind of, I don't know, maybe they're looking to maybe boost their lineup for maybe a bit of a playoff run here? Or is that premature?
Personally, I think they're going to hold steady where they are right now. Right now, they're sitting 7th when we look at the standings. But the parity in the conference from 1st to 7th or 1st to 8th is 7 points. I mean, you got 8 teams separated by 7 points.
Wow.
That's a lot of coin flipping between playoff matchups. So I don't think they have to make big deals. I think for the Oil Kings, they've been out of the playoffs the last 2 years. Just get in the playoffs, get a little experience, and build from there. I don't think this is their window this year. It's not open yet to be contenders. I think that's maybe starting next year, and the year after is when they should really start going for it. So I don't expect them to be big buyers here, and I don't think they're going to sell either. I think they're probably pretty happy with where they are at right now. They did make one minor move Last week, they're bringing in a veteran defenseman named Nico Saquon from the Kamloops Blazers, played in Seattle with Grayson Sauchin a couple years ago, and does have a championship on his resume, but he'll be more of a third pairing guy, I think, for the Oil Kings. Other than that, I don't know if they'll do anything more than maybe a depth move.
Guy, when is the trade deadline in the Dub?
The 9th this year. Usually it's January 10th, but I think they're making it a day earlier because there's lots of games on the 10th, and I think they try to want to avoid that a little bit. So I think they've moved it up to the 9th this year.
Yeah, we've seen a few moves already, I think, today through the X machine. Big moves here, Guy?
Well, Victoria seems to be thinking that they can take a run at it this year because they just picked up Kenta Iso guy who's from Japan but has played the last couple of years in Wenatchee, Washington. He was in the USHL a couple of years prior to that. He's a 20-year-old player and an import, so it was a difficult trade for them to make. But he's a good player. He's probably a 90-point guy. So that's a big ad for them. And then earlier today, they picked up Brandon Lesowski from the Saskatoon Blades. And he is really one of the best 20-year-olds in the league. So Victoria is looking like maybe we can take a run at it. Right now, with the roster they have, I think they're out in the second round. So they're going all in. I don't think they're as good as Everett, and I don't think they're as good as Prince George. So I think they still need a goaltender. We'll see if Victoria is done or not. And the Calgary Hitmen actually picked up a goaltender from Wenatchee today in Daniel Hauser, but had to give up a pretty good player in Maxim Mironov to do that. But Calgary's a pretty good team too. So I think it's a pretty good battle here in the Eastern Conference.
Guy, one last one here for you. I won't ask you for a prediction, but how do you see this game going for Canada? You think they bounce back and they kind of get the discipline under wraps here?
Well, I would like to say yes. There's no reason for me other than Canadian pride to say that, yes, I believe they will do so. So I'll say that they win it 3-2, but man, I'm not really confident saying so.
All right. Guy, like always, great stuff. Should be a fun game, 5:30 on TSN, Czechia and Canada. And we'll see if they can advance. Sweden and U.S. look really good as well. So it's going to be a fun here finish to the World Juniors Tournament. Guy, all the best, and I'm sure we'll be chatting soon.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too, both, and to all the nasties as well.
Thanks, Guy.
That's Guy Flaming, Flying Show and color analyst on the Edmonton Oil Kings broadcast. They lost 4-1 yesterday in their traditional New Year's Day game. When I used to work with them with 1260, that game I just dreaded because you're always a little hungover.
Little
I would
sweaty and hot.
Yeah, just have the beer sweats there, and you're cold up there, and it's just. Yeah, it was just crazy. All right, we're going to get to our Gimme Virtual Golf giveaway for 2 free hours. Last time we did like a movie. We said a subtle line from the movie, and they had to guess. Today we're going to do trivia.
Love it.
All right, Gager?
I love it.
I want to see if you can get this. So all you have to do is text the River Korean box at 780-218-9999, our trivia question, and then our wonderful producer, Zach, will select a winner. And you'll have to send us your info. And then all you have to do is show up at Gimme, say, hey, I won on EST Afternoons. Here's my information. I send it to Michael as well. And you get 2 hours of free virtual golf at Gimme Virtual Golf, which is, I'll just give you the address right here. I think I got it right here. Just give me one quick second. Yeah, 10846 170th Street. Okay. So everybody knows I'm Chilean background, right? From Chile.
What?
On the Live Golf Tour, that's what it's called, right, Gager?
Yes.
Name 2. You have to send in 2 Chilean players that are on the Live Golf roster. So, it's very easy. Google is your friend. You got to send in 2 Chilean players that are on the Live Golf roster, and one of you will win 2 free hours at Gimme Virtual Golf. All right. Up next, we'll close out the show. Get you ready for the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. They'll take you home right up until 6. Edmonton Oilers in action tomorrow, 7 o'clock against the Anaheim Ducks. They'll seek some revenge. We'll continue the Oilers and Sports Talk up next here on EST Afternoons. But first up, a sports update with Zach.
World Junior quarter-final action sees Canada taking on Czechia and Finland throwing it down against Slovakia. Earlier, Sweden held off Latvia 3-2 while Germany edged out Kazakhstan 4-3. And right now it's Americans up 7-1 over the Swiss in the final frame. Elsewhere, Nashville, Zachary LaRue has been suspended 3 games for slew-footing Minnesota's Jared Spurgeon. And today there's a dozen games around the NHL with the Wild in action against the Capitals. On the court, the Pacers play the Heat, and the Nets tip off with the Bucks, seeing 6 games in the association. And in the Sugar Bowl, Georgia and Notre Dame are scoreless midway through the first quarter. EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage wraps up on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I said, hey, 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 it's just an ordinary day, and it's on your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
It's 2:43, last segment here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, and Zach Kubusch in the house. Reed Wilkins, Jay Milne coming up at 3. They'll take you right up until 6. We're back tomorrow. Lieutenant Eric and good old JMO will kick things off at 6 a.m.
That was great having JMO this week, hey?
He's great, man. I absolutely love that guy. And, of course, we'll have the All-Stream pregame show starting at 6. Followed by the post-game show after it's all wrapped up from Rogers Place as the Ducks visit the Oilers. No lineup changes today at practice. Derek Ryan remains the odd man out for now. Defensive pairing's the same. And to confirm, Stuart Skinner's getting the start for the Edmonton Oilers. Our trivia question for 2 free hours at Gimme Virtual Golf was name 2 Chilean players on the Live Golf roster, and we got a lot of correct answers. Mito Pereira and Joaquin Niemann. If you sent those 2 names in, one of you will win the prize, and then in another 2 weeks, we'll find another clever way to give away 2 hours here. So for everybody that texted in, Joaquin Niemann and Mito Pereira, you are in the draw, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Smurfy99, you are not correct on the nasty chat.
Chai.
Chi-Chi?
Chai.
It's Chi-Chi.
I know it's Chi-Chi. I liked when he did put the sword in the holster after a birdie.
Yeah, that was good.
That's good. Team Canada going up against Czechia here. The coach of the Chechen team. One Patrick Augusta that used to really abuse me back in the day. He was a Maple Leafs draft pick. Here's a guy, you know how we were talking about guys that just can't fit into the, can't get a sniff at on the top team?
Yeah.
This guy could score, man. He was a really great goal scorer and just a prick to play against because he had like the 3/4 length visor too. So, and I'll say this, you know, like in that time, a lot of European players coming over and playing a North American style game, they would shy away from. He didn't. Like he gave back just as much as he gave. Not a big guy, but I think scored 50 goals a few times in the American Hockey League. But I just remember because he was so awful to play against because he was good and chippy and stuff like that. But one of my D-men, his name was Mark LaForge. I think he received a lifetime ban from the OHL at one point. But he was an old Edmonton Oiler. He played a few games with the Edmonton Oilers. But his the way to combat Augusta, because not a lot of guys wore visors, and Patty did. So he would put Vaseline, and I do this to people that park in front of my driveway during school hours, and I can't get my car out. But he would put a little Vaseline on the inside of his glove because Forgy was a big defenseman, and so he'd be battling with Augusta in front of the net, and then he'd just reach in and then in the scrums and just wipe Vaseline on his visor. And so for the power play, it was perfect because Augusta would have to go back to the bench, and his trainer would just grab a towel or whatever and wipe it, but just smear it all the way across his visor. So Augusta couldn't get back out there for the rest of the power play because Forgy would be putting Vaseline on his visor. But no, really, really, really good hockey player, that Patrick Augusta. But hopefully he doesn't teach these guys how to score and Canada can have some success.
That's Czechia, eh? Who won the World Juniors last year? I'm drawing a blank. Zach, do you know?
It was the Americans, wasn't it?
Anyone know?
Anyone? We should know this.
We're a sports show.
Well, we stay in the moment.
You're only as good as your last game. The cliches, eh? The cliches are coming out. So I hope they win because I do want to see who would they get if they do win. That's another good question.
Well, I think it's Sweden, right?
Oh, Sweden's good.
Sweden won. But Sweden usually chokes. So
USA won last year. Smurfy 999.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
So was Czechia the team that took out Canada last year as well?
I don't know. I thought it was why do I think the Finns? But I think it didn't happen.
I just think Canada. There's so much turmoil, and you heard their one of their captains speak, and he said even some Canadians are against us, so we want to prove everybody wrong. So they're going in with that. You know,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's how you have to treat it. You have to treat it like, well, let's show everyone. I even saw McKenna saying, let's show everyone how good we are, right? And I think there's something there, but it would be a great story if they could turn this around. But I just think I hate seeing this online when people critiquing these young kids and saying how brutal they are at 17, 18, where
some people need to chill out.
Just stop it. If you don't, it's, you know what, you can say that about professionals and things like that, but these are kids. I mean, they still live at home, half these guys, right? You're critiquing them. Just be a better person. If you don't have anything good to say about a player, just don't say it.
Doug, time only moves forward. No use living in the past.
That's right. Right. That's why January is going to be one of my favorite months.
All we want in January on EST afternoon is for everybody to send us at least one positive. What are they called? Not statement. Positive. What are they?
I don't know. Affirmation. Not affirmations. What am I looking for?
Just something positive.
Just a positive experience.
Vibes. Even if it's a cliche. We'll take them all. Yeah. Phyllis says, I think it was Czechia who beat Canada. Yeah. Lay off the kids of Canada for goodness gracious. Yeah, there are some harsh people online when they lose a game.
I can't believe it. I was like, I went down a rabbit hole and I got very angry at these people yelling at. Hey, it just, it just sucks. You don't need that.
Doc Dad says, go after Gager instead. He's a man.
He's a man. He's 50.
Do you remember that comment?
Oh, yeah.
So we're just watching in the break. We went to watch Notre Dame and Georgia, and there was a fumble by Georgia, and Notre Dame recovered it. Gager goes, was that Rudy? No one laughed but me, but
Yeah. I think Maddie's. Oh, you said I get it. You didn't laugh, but you're. Oh, did you? Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
That's
It was from the movie. Yeah.
Classic movie.
Classic movie.
I love that movie. Man, the end brings me to tears.
Does it?
Yeah. When his buddy's in the crowd, he's like, who's the small or whatever? Who's the small man now? And
Yeah. You know what's bringing me to tears lately is on TikTok. They have those like guys going off. Like it's usually a military guy coming back and seeing their kid. And the kids like crying when they see their dad or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I just get it ruins me.
It is true. As you get older, man, I get emotional.
I don't know.
Oh.
My tear ducts are so big right now. Like Jesus.
An emotional wreck. That's why I watch high anxiety movies. You got to watch Landman.
No, I don't want to watch that.
Why? It's so good, Gager.
No, I don't. I don't know.
You just don't like Billy Bob?
Oh, I don't mind Billy Bob at all.
Then what's your beef, bro?
I don't know. It's the oil and gas industry. No, it looks hilarious. Like I see snippets, but I think I get the gist of it. I think I don't know. Maybe I have to. Everyone says how good it is, but that's another. I need someone to pirate it for me. I refuse to pay for another streaming service.
Yeah. Man, I have them all. So I had Crave this whole time, and then it's not working. It says you need a subscription. So I called TELUS. They're like, yeah, but you're not paying for it. I'm like, then why did I have it for 8 months?
Well, it probably was freebie, right?
Yeah, so I like it because it has Entourage. It's got some
It's got
shows.
some old ones on there.
Yeah,
there's some. Well, I might have to get it because that show Last of Us. Do you watch those types of shows?
No.
It's a good show.
But I heard he cry like every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to cry.
Oh, come on. Nothing like, you know what? A good cry before you go to bed. It's good. You sleep well.
Like that show I've been talking about for a month now, Shrinking on Apple. Like that will make you cry and laugh.
Oh, really?
Laugh your butt off too. It's kind of all over the place, which is why I like it. But no, give Landman a chance, brother.
Again, I'll have to come over to your house.
Oh, you know what I saw? It's on Netflix. I saw the Avicii documentary. Remember the EDM DJ?
Yeah. Oh,
that
he
passed
died.
away.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good, Gager.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and just seeing like the brilliance of him creating the music. Like I didn't know he produced a song for Coldplay, man.
Oh yeah, tons.
Like,
my favorite EDM is that Charlotte DeWitt right now. She's hot. First girl to close out Tomorrowland in Brazil ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So watch Avicii. I recommend. It's Hernan approved. I got a little emotional there too.
Did you?
Because the dad talks and he kind of breaks down a bit, and then kind of how they were celebrating his life. And
yeah.
It's just he went to Oman because he was going through like a spiritual.
Yeah.
And he passed away in Oman.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of weird. Very young too.
That's too bad.
Just brilliant. Surveyor Brett says, Gage, you're just a Paramount hater.
Yeah. No, I mean...
Because you can watch...
yeah, you know what? I did hate Paramount because the Yellowstone, it was great, watching it. And then they switched to Paramount Plus. And then they have the other one, 1840, I think, is on there too. That's supposed to be fantastic.
Yeah. There's like 2 spinoffs of that.
Yeah.
Because on the 17th Severance... Is it Severance? Yeah, season 2. Oh, buddy, season 1 was amazing.
Severance?
Is it Severance? Yeah.
On what?
Apple.
Is that the one where they
go to
working?
work? They go to work and they forget about
everything. Yeah, I watched the first season.
Oh, it's so good. The last episode was amazing.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to watch that.
And
that was crazy.
I just watched it last year, but I guess it came out the year before.
Oh yeah,
so people have been waiting 2 years.
Yeah.
Surveyor Brett says Hernan approved equals Jasmine rejected. Yeah, I guess she didn't like my review. Well, I said Squid Games 2 is really good.
Is
Not
it?
as good as the first one, but still good.
Yeah.
And there's more coming.
Yeah, they already.
And I guess she just kind of blew it off like I was a jabroni.
Huh.
Unfortunate.
Imagine that.
We have selected a winner for the 2 hours at Virtual Golf. It is Warren. Warren texted in. Joaquin Neiman and Mito Pereira, the 2 Chilean golfers. There's actually 3. I don't know who the other guy is, though I know these 2 gentlemen. And Joaquin Neiman's pretty good, actually.
He's really good.
Yeah.
He's got the right name.
Joaquin. Or Joaquin. Joaquin. That's a very common name in South
I
America.
know. You know where it's also really common?
Sweden.
Germany, Sweden.
They spell it different.
Not always. There was 2 guys that named Joaquin on my Swedish team, but they spelt it a different way.
So a guy in Chile, if you're Joaquin, it's usually Joaco.
Wacko?
Joaco.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Wacko.
Oh, boy. The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino. Canadian musician Alan Doyle and comedian Ben Bankas coming to the River Cree in January. For details on tickets, visit www.rivercreeresort.com. That does it for us here on EST Afternoons. We're back tomorrow. It's game day. Oilers Ducks, 7 o'clock from Rogers Place. And we'll tee up the NFL weekend as there's a few important games for the last playoff spots. Should be a fun show. And we'll know if Canada advances by probably 8 o'clock tonight. So for Joaquin Gage and Zach Kubusch, I'm Hernan Salas. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and download our podcast. EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We'll chat tomorrow. Ciao for now.